Hey family, this is your round moment, and today we're talking about grace in the grip. It is in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 9, where Jesus says, "My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness." That means this: you can be in an emotional grip, frustration, fear, anxiety, but you are still held by a greater grip, the grip of God's grace. Grace doesn't remove the pressure, it strengthens you inside the pressure. So who is this? This is Paul, an apostle, a spiritual giant, but also a man with emotions. He shows us that you can be divinely chosen and still feel human emotions. So what is it that Paul wants us to know? Paul talks about the thorn, that persistent challenge that tests your peace. Instead of letting emotion control him, he lets grace take the lead. In other words, weakness, he lets us know that weakness is not failure. It is the stage where God's grace shines brightest. So notice this takes place during seasons of pressure. Paul felt tired, misunderstood, and stretched. This is when grace shows up strongest in our weakest moments. Notice the tension. The tension happens between your calling and your feelings when your emotions try to pull you off course. Grace holds you steady. Why? What is it God is teaching us? God is teaching us that you can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond. In other words, grace governs what emotions try to hijack. And when you lean on it, you maintain your peace instead of letting feelings dominate. So how do we continue to use grace in the grip? Can I tell you, grace reframes weakness as access. Grace shifts you from reacting to relying. Grace whispers, you don't have to handle this alone. I've got you. When your emotions grip you, grace grips you harder. So today, in closing, I want you to remember, your emotions don't have to drive you. Grace does. When you feel pressure, frustration, or fear, let grace take the wheel. Lean on it, trust it, walk in it. Even when life grips you hard, God's grace grips you harder. In that grip, you are not defeated.